Good morning, everyone. I thank you for your generosity and all the week week off, like the last couple of weeks that I had a chance to visit Vancouver, and I had some friends over, and I had a chance to show them around in Toronto area and Niagara Falls as well. So and today I thank you, give special thank you for the people from uh, our presbytery. We have a presbytery visit and welcome, and I hope you guys have great time together, and may God walk with you. Today we are going to share the word of the Lord with the title, "The God Who Still Pours Out His Spirit." The God who still pours out His Spirit. Today, in today's Joel passage, the people of Israel is facing not a great time. Locust year, they say, locust years. Everything is dried up. Locusts had eaten their crops, everything in the land, and even their dreams and hopes. To them, through prophet Joel, God speaks the prophecy. Verse 23. O children of Zion, be glad and rejoice in the Lord your God, for he has given the early rain for your vindication. He has poured down for you abundant rain. Through this, God is giving them the promise of hope, promise of restoration, renewal, and his own Holy Spirit. From where everything seems lost, God is starting new work. But before being restored with everything, can you relate to this dry and desperate season of life that Israel is going through right now? In life, there might be some time or moments of hardship, difficulties, and dryness. If you were one of the Israelites going through locust years, how do you feel about this promise of God for rain? Great, glad, thankful. But we have to see what's going on with the crops after all. What if the locust comes again? We would thankful, we would be thankful, but some might have doubt. Knowing what we are like, God does not stop with the promise of rain only, even though it is the promise, it is the starting point of God's forgiveness. Verse 25, God continues, I will repay you for the years that the swarming locust has eaten, the hopper, the destroyer, and the cutter, my great army which I sent against you. Because Israel turned away from God, locust years was God's punishment. Sending rain is the beginning of God's forgiveness. God not only forgives, but also restores. He gives back years that seemed wasted. These are the years we thought were gone forever. God's restoration of the lost years, that teaches us that God remembers everything. God remembers every prayer, every act of service, every small moment of faith. In His mind, nothing is wasted. God counts them all. When we look back as a church, we remember challenges, but we also remember God's silent faithfulness through them all. There were locust years. Maybe we are still going through some difficult time. However, we never stopped worshiping God here, and we are still here, and we are here in the presence of God. And recently, there are some new faces visiting, visitors, and coming. All these are the grace of God. Verse 27. You shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I, the Lord, am your God, and there is no other. And my people shall never again be put to shame. It is not just a promise of food or rain, but it is a promise of presence. God says, my people shall never again be put to shame. The Spirit of God doesn't depend on how big a church is. The Spirit of God shows up His presence wherever hearts are open. Sometimes or many times, we think, oh, we are too small. We shrunk too much. But in God's kingdom, small is often where God does His best work. For example, when Jesus chose His disciples, He didn't start with the crowd, but He started with the 12. So what do you think? Being small? Sometimes it challenges us, of course. But is Spirit of God here with us now? Spirit of God is here with us now, regardless of our sizes. In our singing, in our praying, in our loving, in our engaging, in our fellowship, in our worshiping, in our sitting down here, in our listening to the message, in our reading of the scriptures, in every moment we show up in faith, God is present among us. In verse 28 and 9, I will pour out my spirit on all flesh. Your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions. Even on the male and female slaves in those days, I will pour out my spirit. This is God's vision for what's coming next. The Spirit of God will be poured out, not trickled, but poured down. And what did the Bible say on whom? Not just few people, not just the young, not just the strong, but all people, all flesh. Sons and daughters, young and old, even slaves. The future God is planning, the future God is painting is not one of decline, but of overflow. As spirit-filled community, where everyone has a voice, where dreams and visions are not just for the few, but for all who calls the name of the Lord. The future of our church does not depend on us alone. The future of our church depends on the God who still pours out His Holy Spirit upon His people. The message of Joel today is not a story of endings, but it is a story of a new beginnings after experiencing loss, after going through difficult times. God restores, God revives, God renews, God still pours out His Holy Spirit upon His people. So today, as we look back with gratitude, and as we look ahead with trust and hope, we can confess God, His faithfulness. God's been here with us all along. God is still working in us and with us and through us. And God is not finished with us yet. May God open our hearts, minds, and all our senses so that we may experience the work of God in our daily lives and in our church and in our family, in our works. This is the message of the Lord for us.